You're throwing away $30 every month. Every time you buy those plastic containers of fresh herbs at the grocery store, use 2 leaves for a recipe, and watch the rest turn into brown mush in your refrigerator 3 days later. That's literally money rotting in your crisper drawer. I'm about to show you 6 herbs that will save you hundreds of dollars this year. One of them you can start right now from a grocery store cutting without buying a single seed. Another one causes arguments at dinner tables because of genetics. And the last one has more vitamin C than oranges but gets thrown away as decoration. If you're tired of wasting money on overpriced, half-dead herbs from the store, hit subscribe and turn on notifications. First up is basil. Next time you're at the grocery store, buy 1 bunch of fresh basil for $3. Instead of using it and watching it die, you're going to turn that single bunch into 12 permanent plants. Select stems that are 4 to 6 inches long. Cut just below a leaf node, which is the bump where leaves attach to the stem. Remove the bottom leaves, but keep the top 4 to 6 leaves. Place the stems in a glass of water on a sunny windowsill. Change the water every 3 to 4 days. Within 7 to 14 days, roots will appear. Once those roots reach 2 inches long, plant them in soil. You just turned $3 into 12 basil plants worth $60. In ancient Rome, basil was considered the king of herbs. The word comes from the Greek basileus, meaning king. It was so valuable that only the sovereign himself could harvest it with a golden sickle. In India, holy basil has been cultivated for over 5,000 years as a sacred plant. Basil grows as a perennial in zones 10 and 11, but everywhere else it's an annual. It thrives indoors year-round. It needs 6 to 8 hours of direct sunlight or a grow light. Keep the soil consistently moist, not soggy. The optimal temperature is 70 to 85 degrees. It dies below 50 degrees. Here's the trick that separates beginners from people who get massive harvests. When you see flower buds forming at the top, pinch them off immediately. Once basil flowers, it stops producing leaves and focuses on making seeds. But if you pinch off those flowers every few days, you force the plant to keep producing leaves instead. I've kept a single basil plant producing continuously for 8 months using this method. Fresh basil is 10 times more potent than dried. Use it in pesto, caprese salad, pizza, Thai curries, pasta sauces, and smoothies. Basil doesn't refrigerate well. It turns black within days. Treat cut basil like flowers. Trim the stems and place in a glass of water on the counter. Or make pesto and freeze it in ice cube trays. Second is coriander, also known as cilantro. This plant is unique because it's 2 herbs in one. The leaves are cilantro. The seeds are coriander. Grow 1 plant and you get both. Now before we go any further, I need to address something. Some of you love cilantro. Some of you think it tastes like soap. This isn't opinion. It's genetic. About 10 to 14% of people have a gene variant that makes cilantro taste like dish soap. If you're in that group, you can still grow this plant for the coriander seeds, which taste completely different and are used in curries, pickles, and baking. Coriander is one of the oldest cultivated herbs in human history. Seeds were found in Tutankhamun's tomb, dating back to 1300 BC. Ancient Romans brought it to Britain. Chinese herbalists used it for over 2,000 years. Coriander is an annual in all zones. It's a cool season crop needing full sun to partial shade and consistent moisture. The optimal temperature is 50 to 85 degrees. It bolts in heat above 85 degrees. Here's what makes cilantro special. It grows ridiculously fast. From seed to first harvest, you're looking at 3 to 4 weeks. Plant new seeds every 2 weeks, and you'll never run out of fresh leaves. This is called succession planting. When temperatures rise above 85 degrees, cilantro bolts. It shoots up a flower stalk and stops producing leaves. Most people see this as failure. But let it bolt. Those flowers turn into coriander seeds, which are just as valuable. Harvest the seeds, dry them, and now you've got a spice for curries, pickles, sausages, and baking. 2 crops from 1 plant. Cilantro doesn't last in the fridge. Chop leaves, pack into ice cube trays, cover with water or olive oil, and freeze. Pop out a cube whenever you need it. If you just realized you've been wasting money on herbs you could easily grow, subscribe and hit the bell. Third is mint, and this plant is the only one where experienced gardeners warn you not to plant it in the ground because it's too successful. It's invasive, aggressive, and will take over your entire garden. But that's exactly why beginners should start here. This plant wants to survive so badly that you'd have to actively try to kill it. Mint tolerates terrible soil, inconsistent watering, and shade where most herbs fail. I've seen mint survive a 2-week vacation with 0 watering, recover from being mowed over, and thrive in a forgotten pot with no drainage holes. Mint has been cultivated for over 2,000 years. Ancient Egyptians used it in burial rituals. Greeks rubbed it on their bodies before battle, believing it increased courage. The most practical use comes from traditional medicine. Mint tea for digestion. Feeling bloated after a heavy meal? Brew fresh mint leaves for 5 minutes, and you'll feel relief within 10 minutes. Menthol relaxes the smooth muscles in your digestive tract. Mint is a hardy perennial in zones 3 through 11, which covers almost everywhere. It tolerates partial shade to full sun, survives freezing temperatures, and thrives between 60 and 70 degrees. Here's the only rule with mint. Keep it in a container. Always. If you plant it in the ground, it spreads through underground runners that can travel several feet in a season. Use a container at least 12 inches wide with drainage holes. Plant different varieties, and you've got a flavor laboratory. Chocolate mint tastes like peppermint patties. Pineapple mint has sweet, fruity notes. Orange mint is citrus-forward. Use fresh mint in mojitos, iced tea, lemonade, lamb dishes, and chocolate desserts. Beyond cooking, mint naturally repels mosquitoes and flies. Plant it near doorways, or rub crushed leaves on your skin as a natural insect repellent. Fourth is rosemary, and this plant thrives on neglect. Overwatering kills it faster than anything else. If you're the type who forgets to water plants for weeks, rosemary is your perfect match. In ancient Greece, students wore rosemary wreaths during exams because it was believed to improve memory and concentration. Modern research shows that the aroma of rosemary contains compounds that increase cognitive performance. Keep a pot near your workspace, and you might notice sharper thinking. Medieval Europeans burned rosemary as incense to ward off plague. Ancient Romans used it as a symbol of love and loyalty at weddings. Rosemary grows as a perennial in zones 8 through 11. Everywhere else it's an annual, but it thrives indoors. It needs full sun, at least 6 to 8 hours. Let the soil dry completely between waterings. Once established, it's drought-proof. The optimal temperature is 60 to 80 degrees, but it tolerates down to 30 degrees. New growers kill rosemary by loving it too much. They water it like other herbs, and the roots rot. Stick your finger 2 inches into the soil. If it's even slightly damp, don't water. Only water when the soil is bone dry. In winter, you might water once every 2 weeks. In summer, maybe once a week. Rosemary is tricky to grow from seed, but cuttings work beautifully. Cut a 4 to 6 inch stem from new growth. Strip the bottom 2 inches of leaves. Stick it in moist soil. Cover with a plastic bag to create humidity. Roots form in 4 to 6 weeks. Use rosemary with roasted meats, potatoes, focaccia bread, infused olive oil, and roasted vegetables. Boil fresh rosemary sprigs for 15 minutes. Let the water cool, and use it as a hair rinse after shampooing. It stimulates scalp circulation and promotes hair growth. Fifth is thyme. Thyme is the set-it-and-forget-it herb. Once established, thyme is nearly indestructible. Ancient Egyptians used thyme in embalming because of its preservative and antibacterial properties. Roman soldiers bathed in thyme water before battle, believing it gave them courage. The word thyme comes from the Greek thymus, meaning courage. During the Middle Ages and up through World War I, Thyme was used as an antiseptic to disinfect wounds. Thyme contains thymol, a powerful antimicrobial compound still used in mouthwash and hand sanitizers today. Thyme is a perennial in zones 5 through 9. It needs full sun, at least 6 hours. It's drought tolerant and prefers dry conditions. It's heat tolerant and cold hardy. It actually prefers poor, rocky soil. Rich soil makes it leggy and weak. It doesn't need fertilizer, frequent watering, or pruning, except to harvest. Try common thyme for classic cooking, lemon thyme for fish dishes, creeping thyme for ground cover with edible flowers, and caraway thyme for spicy flavor. Use thyme with roasted meats and vegetables, soups and stews, herb butter, marinades, bread and crackers. Thyme tea soothes coughs and respiratory issues. If you're realizing these herbs are way more valuable than you thought, hit subscribe. Last is parsley. Parsley gets dismissed as just a garnish, that green sprig on your plate at restaurants that you push to the side. But that's a massive misunderstanding of one of the most nutrient-dense herbs you can grow. Ounce for ounce, fresh parsley contains more vitamin C than oranges, more vitamin K than kale, and more iron than spinach. It's not decoration. It's a superfood. The ancient Greeks didn't eat parsley. They wove it into crowns for victorious athletes and used it in funeral rites. Romans ate it enthusiastically to freshen breath after garlic-heavy meals and to aid digestion. Parsley contains chlorophyll, which neutralizes odors, and compounds that support kidney function and reduce bloating. Parsley is a biennial in zones 5 through 9, but grows as an annual in most climates. It tolerates partial shade to full sun, needing 4 to 6 hours of light. It likes consistent moisture. The optimal temperature is 50 to 70 degrees. Parsley has a reputation for slow germination. Seeds can take 3 to 4 weeks to sprout. Here's the trick. Soak seeds in warm water overnight before planting. This softens the seed coat and speeds up germination by a week. Or bypass the hassle and buy seedlings from a nursery. There are 2 varieties. Flatleaf Italian parsley has stronger, more complex flavor and is preferred for cooking. Curly parsley has milder flavor. Stop using parsley as decoration and start using it as an ingredient. Add handfuls to tabbouleh salad, chimichurri sauce, gremolata, soups, stews, pasta dishes, and smoothies. Cut outer stems first, leaving the center to keep growing. This extends your harvest for months. Growing herbs isn't about becoming a master gardener. It's about taking back control over what you eat and what you spend. Every time you snip fresh basil instead of buying a $5 plastic container, you're winning. These small wins add up to hundreds of dollars. Start with one herb. Go to the store this week, buy a basil plant or a bunch of mint, and try the propagation method I showed you. Once you see that first success, you'll want to grow all 6. Drop a comment right now and tell me which herb you're starting with. Are you team basil? Team mint? Do you have the cilantro taste like soap gene? I read every comment and I'll answer your questions. If this video helped you, share it with someone who's tired of wasting money on expensive herbs. Thanks for watching and see you in the next one.